This is the inquest report. আমি such and such রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানার একজন ইন্সপেক্টর, সাব ইন্সপেক্টর, page 98. This is the inquest report. আমি such and such রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানার একজন সাব ইন্সপেক্টর আজ ইংরেজি 14/8/2024 তারিখ বেলা such and such নাগাদ রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানার ভারপ্রাপ্ত আধিকারিক আইসি সাহেবের নির্দেশ মতো থানার কনস্টেবল such and such কে সঙ্গে নিয়ে জঙ্গিপুর মহকুমা হাসপাতালে আসিয়া উপস্থিত হইলাম এবং উপরোক্ত মৃতদেহটি সুরতাল প্রস্তুত করিতে প্রবৃত্ত হইলাম। মৃতদেহটির যথাযথ শালীনতা বজায় রেখে উক্ত দেহটি such and such. So it is admitted. The inquest was conducted there. So, Lordship, this suspicion remains that how the body was transferred from the hostel to the hospital morgue, who has done it, and it is also reported this police was intimated about it. Police has conducted the preliminary examination. This conduct of preliminary examination, Lordship, raises a doubt. Kindly come to the FIR. It says that শারীরিক আঘাত, আমার দৃঢ় বিশ্বাস আমার ছেলেকে শারীরিক আঘাত এবং শ্বাসরোধ করে খুন করা হয়েছে। উক্ত ঘটনাটি এফআইআর হিসেবে নথিভুক্ত করার জন্য আমার পরিবারের গ্রামের 40 থেকে 50 জন রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানায় উপস্থিত হই, কিন্তু থানার মেজবাবু এফআইআর গ্রহণ করেননি। তিনি বলেন ময়না তদন্তের পর দেখা যাবে। এক কথায় আমার না কলেজ কর্তৃপক্ষের কাছে না পুলিশ প্রশাসন।
You are doubtful about this, correct? That he cannot.
I have a right to know that what is the reason for what my son has.
There may be two situations. He has committed suicide because of the rigging of the college. This is no case.
May I only place in today in this form? If at all your lord, Chief, the urgency, if your lordship asks me, urgency involved is the urgency involved. My lord, petitioner is praying.
I'm led by learned advocate general in this matter.
Second postmortem of his son's
Kishore Datta.
That is the interim prayer. The petitioner has also prayed for a final prayer for transferring the investigation from one agency to another. Presently, Lordship, the Raghunathganj police station of Murshidabad was investigating it, and now
What is the case about?
I will come to that. The petitioner's son, Lordship, allegedly died in the hostel in Raghunathganj. Now, his wife got a call, and after that, intimated petitioner over the phone that his son is found hanging. Now, Lordship, what has happened? After that, it is admitted position before the single bench. The reports were produced. The body was taken from that place of occurrence to the morgue and where the inquest was conducted. Inquest was not conducted at the alleged place of occurrence, that is the place where the body was found. And despite of the fact, the police was intimated about the fact that body was found in the hostel, the body was allowed to be taken out from that place to the morgue.
Allowed to be taken out by the whom? Who was taken out?
The students of the college. They were allowed. It is admitted positions. In their report, they said. Moreover, Lordship, in the postmortem report, it was stated that the reason for the death cannot be ascertained without having the forensic reports. Despite of the fact, well, this matter was pending, it was being heard by the learned single bench. The same doctor has opined it's a suicidal. There was a ligature mark, it was found, it is suicidal. Now, Lordship, only two things, Lordship, for my interest. Kindly come to the order once, and I will show your Lordship two of the documents. Kindly come to this order, which is annexed with the Lordship, the memorandum of appeal. And I will straight away take your Lordship to paragraph 9 onwards. Lordship, when there is an report to the police station that an unnatural death has happened somewhere, it is the duty of the police station to register the unnatural death case. And Lordship, unnatural death case has to be registered in terms of section 174 of the earlier code and presently section 194. The petitioner also submits the police failures to promptly register the FIR and subsequent delay in lodging the unnatural death case number 161 of 2024, which was not initiated until August 14, 2024, violates statutory obligations under section 194 of Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita 2024. Additionally, the inquest into the death was conducted at the hospital, not the hostel room where the body was discovered, raising concerns about the integrity of the investigation and the preservation of the evidence. The petitioner believes
It is a private engineering college.
it's a private engineering college. So, Lordship,
So
they-
initially police refused to register in
Yes.
FIR. Who was the complainant? Father.
father went. It was his case that on night between that 13 to 14, father rushed to the police station after hearing the incident along with some of the villagers. He was refused. The police was not inclined to register the complaint, and that complaint is also annexed in the writ petition. Lordship, the learned trial judge records this. The inquest into the death was conducted at the hospital. Lordship knows that the place of occurrence, the section 174 as well as section 194 of the Suraksha Sanhita, Lordship clearly indicates where the body is found. That phrase is mentioned in that particular code. I will be placing that. Before that body was discovered, raising concern about the integrity of the investigation and preservation of the evidence. The petitioner believes that these procedural lapses and delays in the investigation are deliberate, intended to
Chatterjee, Mr.
allow.
Chatterjee, please come to paragraph 21 of the judgment of the learned
My
single judge. Last three, uh, this court found no basis for ordering,
Substantive evidence of harassment of the deceased.
and last two lines, the court found no basis for ordering a second postmortem.
Absence of the external. That's why, Lordship, the second postmortem is required. My prayer was there for the second postmortem. The postmortem report appears to be doubtful. Lordship, I will show your Lordship how the postmortem report was mentioned. Kindly take the pen to take the application, Lordship, once. And I will be referring to only 2-3 pages. Lordship, kindly come to page 88.
Your prayer in the writ petition was only restricted to second postmortem report.
Lordship, I had two prayers. One was the second postmortem that was in the form of the interim prayer.
Central
As
Bureau of
well as the
Investigation.
final, I wanted the investigation to be transferred to an agency. Lordship, kindly come to page 88. Your Lordship will.
What is the stage of the investigation? Is there any investigation?
But I'm lead the learned advocate.
Unnatural death of must have.
Learned advocate general my lord, is leading me, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Doctor.
Milord, your Lordship will kindly, Milord, go through the judgment under appeal.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I have gone through it, at least on the
Yes.
substantial part.
Yes, two things. First is, Milord, the inquest, which is done by a magistrate, no external injury. Second is, Milord, the postmortem report, there is also no external injury. I would only, Milord, request your Lordships to take up, Milord, 2 paragraphs of the judgment of the learned single judge, where
More than 5 or 6 days it was heard by my lord.
Yes,
his
tell-
Lordship has stated. Kindly have a look to Milord, paragraphs 13 and 14. Just these 2 paragraphs.
What could be the legal formalities except the formalities as mentioned
My
under
lord,
the
your
code?
lordship.
Milord, those are to be, Milord, looked into, Milord, in the course of trial. Milord, just
No.
because somebody feels that the postmortem report is incorrect, Milord, that cannot lead
And the private respondent, my lord, appeared, my lord, I am taking leave from learned
to
advocate
a
general.
second
My
postmortem
lord,
report.
I am
Yes.
appearing for the private respondent, lordship.
My lord, argued before
Yes.
the learned single judge. My lord, whether
Yes,
Lordship,
yes.
I am appearing for the
Not, I
private
do not.
respondent. Lordship, I am appearing for the private respondent, lordship.
বলো সেটা মুখে ছবিতে
I cannot hear.
Therefore, Milord, yes.
Mr. Counsel, don't ever
Lordship, I am appearing.
through your car.
Lordship, I apologize, lordship, but the matter was taken up suddenly. I apologize on the outset, lordship.
গাড়ি থেকে শুরু করে
কে জানে জুনিয়র এখানে ক্লার্ক দিব তো অদ্ভুত কারবার
আমরা তো
এটা কি
তো Mr. Chatterjee, we are on appeal. So whatever findings have been coming out, that there no legal include in the FIR was lodged immediately. Telephone tip on 13th October, August 2024 at about 21:31. There was
Sir,
no delay in
extra statutory. These were not statutorily required. Statutorily, what was required, my submission was that immediately after the receipt of the information, that unnatural death.
two parts of your allegation. One, why this second postmortem is necessary.
Yes,
because
I
you
will
are-
come, Lordship. Kindly come to page
Kindly.
88 once.
You see, you are not satisfied with the first postmortem.
Yes, my lord.
The second one is that it should be investigated by the Central State Office.
Yes, that can be
That
decided
there is a
later.
lack of any there's a proper investigation is not being conducted by the present
Yes, ma'am.
investigator. But as we are finding, the telephonic message was received on 13th August 21:31. They immediately responded to that.
Now the question is, the
Is there
law
any delay
requires,
in
law
registering?
requires them to respond in accordance with law. The law says that police will rush to that spot. Police will find out that where the body was found.
That has been,
Conduct
paragraph
the
13
inquest.
says so.
No,
Are
13
you
says kindly
disputing
come.
that?
Upon
Recording,
receiving the telephonic tip on August 13, 2024 at 9:31 hours, the police authorities immediately responded and reached to the scene where the body of the petitioner's son was found lying on the floor in room number C18 of the respondent number 14. Preliminary investigation indicated. On what is the preliminary investigation? Except conduct of the inquest as per section 194. Kindly see the language of section
what
194.
more you are side? What
Lordship.
more is necessary according to you?
Because 194 requires the specific procedure to be followed. May I read? Police to inquire and report on suicide, etc. When the police officer in charge of the police station or some other police officer specially empowered by the state government in that behalf receives information that a person has committed suicide or has been killed by another or by an animal or by machinery or by an accident or has died under circumstances raising a reasonable suspicion that some other person has committed an offense, he shall immediately give intimation thereof to the nearest executive magistrate empowered to hold inquest, and unless otherwise directed by any rule made by the state government or by any general or special order of the district or subdivisional magistrate, shall proceed to the place where the body of such deceased person is, and there, in the presence of two or more respectable inhabitants of the neighborhood, shall make an investigation and draw up a report of the apparent cause of death. Now, apparent cause of death has to be ascertained.
Inquest not done by magistrate in the presence of here.
Lordship, inquest was not done at the place where the body was found. Admittedly, body was found in the hostel room.
The
It is
magistrate-
reflected in the judgment.
magistrate was Mr. Dotto. Inquest by presence of magistrate was there, as you are saying.
Yes.
But the place where
No,
the
no, place is where, my lord, the body is found.
That's why the
Yes.
body is found
Yes.
admittedly in the hostel. Now, next day, body was allowed to be transferred to the hospital. And Lordship, the judgment
Next
records
day?
next day, on the very next day. And after transferring the body, the formal inquest was conducted at the morgue, at the hospital. So, Lordship, the place of occurrence, which in paragraph number 13, it is recorded that this is the hostel. They conducted preliminary inquiry, which there was no scope of conducting preliminary inquiry. The only inquiry which has to be conducted, that was as per section 194. Now, instead of doing it, they have allowed the body to go to that place, and there the inquest was conducted on the next day. So, Lordship, the place of conducting inquest is the hospital. Lordship, that is reflected in the judgment itself. That is my first point. My second point was,
Judgment is, what is the finding on that?
Lordship, paragraph 13, I have
annexed the
indicated.
inquest?
Lordship,
Have you annexed the inquest?
Inquest report, Lordship, I do not have the copy of the inquest. Yes, it is.
Inquest and postmortem. Both are made, Lord.
Yes, yes,
happened,
my lord.
I'm taking leave from Lord, my learned advocate, that both are, Lord, in presence of the complainant father and put signature.
Lordship.
Both. Lord, if I'm not wrong.
Lordship, kindly come to
আমি ঠিক বলেছি?
page 88 once. This is the postmortem report, the relevant portion which I want to show. Lordship, this is a case. My Lord Justice
Yes, yes.
will kindly see page 88. And in page 88, this is the postmortem report. Now, Lordship, this is a case of ligature. Allegedly. Now, in case of ligature, your Lordship knows the observation regarding thyroid cartilage is very important. Kindly come to that observation place. Why I am raising the question about the postmortem report? Thyroid cartilage,
The case of trial.
Lordship, see,
Decided on trial.
thyroid cartilage, nothing. No observation is made. Why it is doubtful?
Trial
I say that this ligature mark leads to a suicidal case. Ligature may be caused homicidal, may be suicidal. And Modi says that yes, homicidal ligature number is less, but that has to be decided later on. But finding has to be there. Otherwise, how the trial would be conducted? Lordship, kindly see the observation regarding ligature mark. Everything is said congested, congested. Only the ligature. Lordship, kindly page 88, this portion. It's only marked ticked. What is there? It's a case of ligature mark. They are saying it's a case of suicide. Now, that is my first question regarding the postmortem. And doctor says that the cause of death, to best of the knowledge and believe the immediate cause is still viscera comes. He reserves his opinion. And now, Lordship, kindly come to the page 98 once. This is the inquest report. আমি such and such রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানার একজন ইন্সপেক্টর সাব ইন্সপেক্টর page 98. This is the inquest report. আমি such and such রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানার একজন সাব ইন্সপেক্টর আজ ইংরেজি 14/8/2024 তারিখ বেলা such and such নাগাদ রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানার ভারপ্রাপ্ত আধিকারিক আইসি সাহেবের নির্দেশ মতো থানার কনস্টেবল such and such কে সঙ্গে নিয়ে জঙ্গিপুর মহকুমা হাসপাতালে আসিয়া উপস্থিত হইলাম এবং উপরোক্ত মৃতদেহটি সুরতাল প্রস্তুত করিতে প্রবৃত্ত হইলাম। মৃতদেহটির যথাযথ শালীনতা বজায় রেখে উক্ত দেহটি such and such. So it is admitted. The inquest was conducted there. So, Lordship, this suspicion remains that how the body was transferred from the hostel to the hospital morgue, who has done it, and it is also reported that police was intimated about it. Police has conducted the preliminary examination. This conduct of preliminary examination, Lordship, raises a doubt in the mind. Now, how this, and now they are saying what happened after that, Lordship. On 13th, petitioners was refused by the police, restrained from lodging the complaint. 14, he had to take the body back. Body was, Lordship, there was the last rituals performed. And on 17th, petitioner lodged a complaint at Malda. It was a zero FIR. That zero FIR was treated by the SP, Murshidabad, and directed the Raghunathganj police station to register the
Where is
complaint.
the FIR?
And that zero FIR, I'll be showing your Lordship, they have started a specific case also on the basis of this. Lordship, this is in 14 or 17. Lordship, this is in page 70. This is before the IC English Bazaar. The police, the same police station, who refused to accept my FIR on 14th, on 17th, they were directed to register this written complaint as zero FIR and treat it. Now they are investigating it. And what is the report submitted before this court in terms of, in reference with this particular case? I'll refer to this, Lordship. Lordship, page 101.
No, please, এখানে লিস্টটা পাঠিয়ে
Page 104, last paragraph. It is very pertinent to cause inquiry about the ragging torture has been committed upon the deceased before the death by any of the school students, hostelers, any staff of the college authorities during his tenure in the said institution. IO has conducted inquiry and examined the witnesses, but nothing comes out. So already has,
When he was admitted in that college,
Lordship,
when the victim was admitted in the
Boy.
college,
Lordship, I will. Lordship, the admission was in 2024, 2023, session 23-24. This was,
because the death occurred in August 2024.
Well, Lordship, I am on procedural part. If there is a procedural lapses, because your Lordship knows the police authorities cannot deviate from the procedure. They are bound to act in terms of the procedure. They cannot go and they cannot say, I was doing it, I have done this, that. The law suggests or refers, law directs him to conduct a procedure, follow a procedure. And that is prescribed under 194, and that was the judgment of this court also in case of Kishwar Jahan. Lordship, that was a single inch judgment, Lordship. I don't want to place it before your Lordship. If your Lordship wants, the law was elucidated by the then Justice Dotto, who was sitting in that bench. That 174, ambit of 174, how it has to be conducted. Even the PRB requires a particular form to be filled up for the purpose of holding the
hearing. Appeal requires hearing. No.
It requires hearing, Lordship. Kindly, at least, Lordship, so far the second postmortem is required, Lordship. Kindly direct them to allow us. We can pay the cost for the conduct of second postmortem, whatever is required. We will cooperate the police. For change of agency, Lordship, I know in
What
this
is
type
the-
of matter,
No.
it has to be hard.
So, Dotto, what is the stage of your investigation?
Where the investigation is going on, Millard. As soon as Millard, it is over, Millard, we'll file the charge sheet. But Millard, so far as Millard, the procedural lapses, my learned friend is trying to point out, please have a look to Millard, one document, the inquest report. Please have a look to the inquest report. And then Millard, I'll take your Lordship through the section 194. Where in the Bengali handwritten portion, kindly take the last three lines. Hostele Chatrora. My lords, I found it, my lord. Last three lines of the handwritten portion. Hostele Chatrora ঘর থেকে উদ্ধার করে জঙ্গিপুর এসডি হসপিটালে নিয়ে আসলে কর্তব্যরত ডক্টর বাবু তহিদ হোসেনকে মৃত বলে ঘোষণা করে। Therefore, my lord, the students had taken the victim to the hospital. Now come to Milord section 194, on which Milord my learned friend is laying reliance upon. Kindly have a look to Milord section 194, Milord, if your lordships are having BNSS.
Yes, sir.
No, we need.
Lordship, I am sorry, I have only one book, Lordship.
When the officer in charge of a police station or some other police officer, special,
Lordship,
I'm sorry,
174.
174 in earlier code, 194 under the present code.
Yes, very well. Mr. Dotto, carry on.
yes, Miller. When the officer in charge of a police station or some other police officer specially empowered by the state government in that behalf receives information that a person has committed suicide or has been killed by another, or by an animal or by machinery or by an accident, or has died under circumstances raising a reasonable suspicion that some person has committed an offense, he shall immediately give intimation thereof to the nearest executive magistrate empowered to hold inquest, and unless otherwise directed by any rule made by the state government or by any general or special order of the district or subdivisional magistrate, where the next part is very important, shall proceed to the place where the body of the deceased person is. This part is very important. Shall proceed to the place where the body of such deceased person is, and there, in presence of two or more respectable inhabitants of the neighborhood, shall make an investigation, draw up report of the apparent cause of death, describing such wounds, fractures, bruises, and other marks of injury and as may be found on the body, and stating in what manner by what weapon or instrument, if any, such marks appear to have been inflicted. We are pausing here for a moment. Where the inquest report says, where there is no challenge, that the students had taken the victim to the hospital. Section 194 requires me to go to the place where the body is. Therefore, when the body has been transmitted or transferred to the hospital, there is no use me going to the hostel or wherever
So
thing has happened.
194 does not mandate
Yes.
inquest to be made at the place of occurrence.
Right.
It is
Right.
where the body is ultimately found.
Right.
Interpretation.
Yes. Now, my learned friend's contention is that the inquest was required to be done at the place where the thing had happened, or the place of occurrence or place of crime, whichever is the appropriate expression. But the section 194 does not say so.
May I say?
Yes,
Therefore,
what-
my lord, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Sir,
how to respond to that,
Yes.
Mr. Chatterjee?
my lord, this possibly learned advocate general has not been properly advised by his client. Kindly come to their report. Lordship, the submission fallen from my learned advocate general is that the inquest to be conducted at the place where the body is found. After the information that somebody has committed suicide or somebody has met any manner in a suspicious condition, and a body is there.
Shall
After the-
proceed to place.
where the body is found. Now, kindly come to para 13 and read it with their report filed before this court, that is in page 75. On 13/8/2024, it's their report, my lord. On 13/8/2024 at 9:31 hours, the duty officer ASI Tusharkanti Hajra received a telephonic information from an unknown number about hanging of one person in such and such college. Through landline of PS duty officer, diarized the matter on priority basis and informed the same to me without any delay. Accordingly, RT2 mobile officer SI Mintu Sheikh and special RT2 mobile officer SI Hiranmay Trivedi was directed to verify the incident as utmost basis. This was all incident of 13th. Doing all the legal formalities according to law, the entire fact is noted in Raghunathganj police station GD number such and such. That on 13/8/2024, on the basis of such information, RT2 mobile officer SI Mintu Sheikh reached at the spot at 9:45 hours and found that one body was laying on the floor. So they themselves in their report accepts that they found the body was lying. So Lordship, I completely accept the submission of my learned advocate generals. His persuasion about this position of law is completely correct, Lordship. And I base this on the basis of the floor room number such and such, college hostel, and that institute in the particular time, as I mean to Sheikh, observed that father of the deceased as well as the petitioner, namely Rejaul Karim, was present there. In presence of the roommates of the victim, the college authority and the petitioner, the body was identified. Body was identified.
I understand what you said, some procedural lapses, maybe very serious impact on the
Maybe.
ultimate investigation, which leads to your apprehension that this has not been properly conducted, and you want that second postmortem report is to be.
So that's why, Lordship, they kindly allow me to, I will hold all the expenditure if it is required. I will cooperate the state. Let it be conducted by present of a judicial magistrate and let the report be placed. This may be a case of suicide. I don't know what is going to come out after the investigation. But it's ultimately the
But
victims.
Mr. Chatterjee, for this, he has to require to understand what is the stage of investigation. The case diary is not before us.
Lordship, case diary was called for. Lordship, kindly direct them to produce the case
Case
diary
diary before.
without
Mr.
prejudice to my rights and their rights. Lordship, let
Yes,
the-
my lord.
How far this is fatal? The procedural defect, what he is now pointing out, from your report, you have found the body where officer went to the place where the body was found, but ultimately inquest was made in the hospital where the students had removed the body. This procedural lapses, how far is fatal in conducting the investigation? That to ascertain it, the CD is necessary to be produced.
Yes, yes. We'll definitely produce the CD. There is no difficulty in doing so.
Secondly, what is your objection to his prayer for a second
Postmortem.
report at his cost? What is the difficulty? in
First thing is, my lord, so far as, my lord, whatever submissions my learned friend has made is in respect of the inquest report. That is, my lord, section 179. I'm sorry, by subsection 1. I'm sorry, 194 subsection 1,
Hmm.
which is relatable to inquest.
Hmm.
Postmortem is, my lord, subsection 2. I'm sorry, subsection 3
Hmm.
of the same section.
Hmm.
Now, the place of occurrence, good, bad, indifferent, where the inquest is to be made, is one point which can be looked into. Postmortem is subsection 3. May I place that? When the case involves a suicide of a woman within 7 years of a marriage, or the case relates to death of a woman within, it doesn't apply. 3 doesn't apply. 4 may apply. There is any doubt regarding the cause of death, or 5 may apply. The police officer, for any other reason, considers it expedient to do so, he shall, subject to such rules as the state government may prescribe in this behalf, forward the body with a view to its being examined to the nearest civil surgeon or other qualified medical person appointed in this behalf by the state
Suggesting
government.
the procedural defect which you are pointing out,
Yes.
section 194(1), how you can relate it with your prayer for second
Yes,
postmortem?
my lord, there are two fold of submission. This was my first fold of submission. The
Mr.
inquest
Chatterjee,
error
Mr.
irregularity.
Chatterjee, at least prima facie you are successful in establishing that 194(1) possibly has not been properly followed. It leads to how far it leads to your other prayer. The procedural lapse is so large that the investigating agency now conducting is not competent to conduct it. So your second prayer may be considered. You can relate it with that.
Yes.
But so far the postmortem is concerned, unless you bring some material to show.
Lordship, that's why I have shown the postmortem report. Lordship, the postmortem
That
report.
was very
I said that, Lordship, the ligature mark,
yeah, but that is not very appealing
the
to us at this stage.
thyroid cartilage is not observed properly. What is the condition of the thyroid cartilage? Because thyroid cartilage is this portion, Lordship. If the ligature is there, whether the ligature is the result of homicidal strangulation or result of any other thing.
The apprehension in the mind of your client that he was killed
Yes.
or the suicide
Maybe.
was committed due to the rigging of the hostel.
It's his apprehension as of it is expressed in the FIR. Yes, it has to be
It
investigated.
was
May
hacked.
I go to the FIR? May I?
No, what is, you have gone through
It's
so
killed,
many.
murder.
Was killing, was a murder or
Yes,
a rigging out?
I will,
suicide
Lordship,
is the outcome of a rigging.
Let me read it, Lordship. Let me read it. Why? I will not read it. Lordship, this is a case, Lordship, it says that kindly come to the FIR. It says যে শারীরিক আঘাত, আমার দৃঢ় বিশ্বাস আমার ছেলেকে শারীরিক আঘাত এবং শ্বাসরোধ করে খুন করা হয়েছে। উক্ত ঘটনাটি এফআইআর হিসেবে নথিভুক্ত করার জন্য আমার পরিবারের গ্রামের 40 থেকে 50 জন রঘুনাথগঞ্জ থানায় উপস্থিত হই, কিন্তু থানার মেজবাবু এফআইআর গ্রহণ করেননি। তিনি বলেন ময়না তদন্তের পর দেখা যাবে। এক কথায় আমার না কলেজ কর্তৃপক্ষের কাছে না
This
পুলিশ
is your
প্রশাসন।
apprehension, or you are doubtful about the
Yes.
correct, that he cannot.
I have a
commit
right
suicide.
to know that
He
what
cannot
is the
commit
reason for what
suicide
my son
according
has.
to you. There may be two situations. He has committed suicide because of the rigging of the college. This is no case. has been made out.
May I only place in today in this form? If at all your lordship inclines to direct them to conduct the postmortem at my own cost and place the report before your lordship's court without it is not prejudicing anybody's rights. It would be
So
excused.
you have to, the reason you have to show, because your challenge is
Reason
not
is, lordship, the recording.
you are causing a doubt, taking some technical areas of the postmortem report. But so far the 194, we need to see the case diary
Lordship, only thing
to
is,
understand that what is the, how the inquest was conducted, whether 194(1) was properly followed or not.
lordship,
For
this
that
is
reason-
reflected now in the appeal, lordship. It is recorded by the learned single judge, and this is reflected from their own report, which was placed before the learned single judge. Lordship, kindly pass an order.
The appeal requires further consideration. Stop. The, to appreciate
না,
the
সেখানে বলে দিলাম। না, বলে দিয়েছেন। না, আপনি কি order
to appreciate the allegation of the appellant that section 194(1) of the Bharatiya Nagorik Suraksha Samhita 2023 has not been properly followed in the
পড়ে আসে, আমার ভালো লাগে।
conducting inquest. While conducting inquest, we need to see case diary. Matter be placed before the regular page immediately after reopening. The case diary be produced. on
Lordship,
the-
case diary as well as lordship, the records related to the unnatural death case connected to it. Because there was
yes,
UD case.
and also the UD case number you have got. the
Yes,
UD
my lord, I have the number.
And the along with the UD case number such and such.
Good.
Make your
Is-
prayer of that date.
Lordship,
Make your prayer for second. We are not observing anything on that score.
হয়ে থাকবে।
We are satisfied at 194(1). That has to be, we can come to a conclusion, the bench can come to a conclusion after going to the CD. Mr. Datta take steps for producing the CD and the UD
UD
case
case-
number, record of UD case
Records of
number,
UD
records of UD case number, such on the next day.
Very well, very well. I'm grateful.
Grateful,
Shall
Lordship.
appear in
Grateful, Lordship.
regular bench,
Regular bench immediately after immediate
immediately after or 1 week.
reopening.
this was
Grateful, Lordship.
argued. Mr. Datta's team only there before Honorable Justice Datta in that case.
Earlier,
Earlier, Rizwanur Rahman's case.
Acha, acha.
so bring it, it will be apparatus res judicata on.
Yes,
Grateful, my lord.
section 11 has to be
Grateful,
redrafted.
Lordship.
Obliged to
Yes,
us.
adopted.
Yes,
It applies to council also.
yes.
Uh,
No, you cannot apply it to councils. It applies to court only. No court shall.
Also,
It does not say no advocate
I
shall.
have delivered a judgment where,
Yes,
by
sir.
relying on the very old judgment, I have held that res judicata, doctrine of res judicata is not confined to section 11 only. This is not exhaustive. The section is not exhaustive but illustrative. So there may
Yes.
be a situation where doctrine may be applied. I don't know whether it can be applied to you. or not.